Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
Good evening. It's Thursday, February 21st, 2002. I'm Carrie LaPoo.
And I'm Autumn Gels. Tonight our top story, the Wall Street Journal reporter who was kidnapped nearly a month ago on his way to interview a Muslim fundamentalist leader in Pakistan is dead.
Brian Cable takes a look back at Daniel Pearl's life.
That now famous but frightening image, the photograph of a hostage with a gun to his head, was born 38 years ago in Princeton, New Jersey. Daniel Pearl was a bright young man who went to university with a degree in communications. Journalism was his calling. He returned to the Northeast to begin his career.
He was such a sharp kid that you knew he was going places.
Almost everything he said was either amusing or insightful.
He joined the Berkshire Eagle in Massachusetts in 1988, won an award for a story the following year.
The way he interviewed people and the way he wrote stories made it clear that he was destined for the big leagues.
And the big leagues it was. The Wall Street Journal hired him in 1990, and over the next decade he would see the world. He was first headquartered in Atlanta, then Washington, overseas to London, then to Paris, where he met his wife, Marianne.
We are two people who met and fell in love because we have the same ideal, you know, and all my life, all his life, and our life together is just a big effort to try to create dialogue between civilization.
His next stop was the Indian city of Mumbai, better known as Bombay. He arrived there in December of 2000, and his most recent articles for the Journal had dealt with the increasing tensions between India and Pakistan. He was in Karachi working on a story on the Islamic militant underground when he was kidnapped on January 23rd. Initially, his captors claimed he was an agent for the CIA.
Mr. Pearl is a respected journalist. He has no connection with our government.
Later, his captors claimed Pearl worked for Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency. His colleagues at the Wall Street Journal called the charges unfounded. Pearl, they said, was a top-flight journalist, nothing more.
This is a man who lives for three things. He lives for covering stories accurately. He lives for his wife. They have a wonderful relationship. And he lives for his unborn child.
His wife is 6 months pregnant with their first child. Brian Cabell, CNN.
The Office of Homeland Defense is on the offense following a threat against one of the very symbols of America. Authorities in Philadelphia have increased security and armed patrols around the Liberty Bell. The FBI received word of threat yesterday. The Bureau says it was serious enough to boost security, but it said there's no information on when an attack might take place.
County Market's future seems a little uncertain. They will remain in operation, but their name might change. Clarion County Market is independently owned by Gary Nader of Clarion. Jim Green, Regional Director of Advertising and Communications for SuperValue Incorporated, said County Market may become styled more like a shop and save or Foodland. He also said they're trying to plan any changes so there is no long-term shutdown and as little disruption as possible. Some more details to news we brought to you earlier this week. The man jailed on fugitive charges was released from jail today. The Venango County man is charged with vehicular homicide that stemmed from an incident in Quebec. Venango County judge released him because the county did not have grounds to hold him. Officials say the fugitive will be free until the Office of International Affairs issues a proper arrest warrant.
Clarion Borough has been having a tough time deciding what will happen to the old maintenance buildings on 2nd Avenue. Well, today they found an answer. Our Mark Despotakis was at the special council meeting and has this report.
Could these two buildings become a home for chickens? Well, actually, yes. Clarion Borough Council received an unsolicited proposal from Melvin Lengacher to dismantle the buildings. Under the agreement that was approved today, these two buildings will be dismantled and then reassembled on Lengacher's Sligo farm. There, they'll be used to house 2,200 chickens. That's right, 2,200 chickens. Lengacher is an Amish man, He plans on assembling a crew to dismantle these buildings. In fact, he was ready to start last week.
He thought he could just come in here and do this. In fact, he had a crew coming from Indiana.
Lengacher will pay the borough $1 for taking the buildings. That sum includes removing all framing, windows, and doors above the cement foundation. The buildings have been deemed unmarketable and could only be salvaged for under $500. The largest concern raised was that of insuring Lengacher and other workers at the site.
I'm just wondering, is anybody a little nervous about the exposure liability-wise that the borough has? I mean, I am. Maybe I'm nervous for no reason.
We generally can trust these people. And I think they do have a track record of completing projects and making them whole. And I think if there were any problems, we could, expect them to make it whole.
Work at the site could begin as early as Monday. In Clarion Borough, Mark Despotakis, TV5 News.
The Salem Township supervisor was sentenced to up to 2 years in prison after pleading guilty to driving under the influence and recklessly endangering another person. Monty Chapman will begin his sentence on Friday and will be able to apply for work release. Chapman pleaded guilty to both counts and he was charged with and accepted the plea bargain offered by the prosecutor.
Clarion County Judge James Arner granted an emergency injunction yesterday that blocks the sheriff's sale of a Leeper home. Arner's ruling means the foreclosure sale of the home of Deborah Schumacher will not be held as scheduled Friday. Lawyers from the Office of Attorney General Mike Fisher had petitioned Common Pleas Court for the order, which Arner granted within hours of receiving all the legal papers in the case. Fisher's office has been investigating all local allegations of predatory lending and mortgage fraud for months. The ruling gives the state additional time to investigate Schumacher's claims she was defrauded by real estate companies on a mortgage deal involving First Union Bank of Charlotte, North Carolina.
With the dull winter months lingering around, many people would rather be in Florida. Clarion University is coming up on their winter break, giving many of its students an opportunity to get out and get some sun. TV5's own Misty Schreckengost reports.
With classes ending tomorrow, many Clarion students will be leaving for winter break. Some will be going home to relax, while others will be catching some sun. We wanted to find out where some of the students would be going and what they would be doing.
My friends and I are going to go up to Niagara Falls in Canada.
And what are you going to do while you're up there?
We're going to hang out. We'll probably go to the casinos.
Cancun with some of my best friends.
And what will you be doing while you're down there?
Having a lot of fun, meeting a lot of new people.
I plan on attending a Phi Mu Alpha Province workshop in Susquehanna and basically just enjoying the break and not working, not thinking about it, and getting a lot of sleep that I haven't been getting.
The Travel Channel website gave the top 10 spring break destinations, which are 10 as the Bahamas, 9 Rosarita Beach in Ensenada, Mexico, 8 Key West, 7 Daytona Beach, 6 Mazatlan, Mexico, 5 Jamaica, 4 South Padre Island in Arizona, 3 Lake Havasu, 2 Cancun, and 1 Panama City. So as you can see, most young people are drawn to the exotic tropical beaches with clear blue waters. Some things to do while vacationing here are scuba diving, exploring deep caves, and going to the beachfront bars, dance clubs, and hotels. Here are some safety tips to keep in mind when traveling. Stay alert at all times. The more aware you are of your surroundings, the less vulnerable you are. 2, take a cell phone with you. Don't flash large amounts of cash, jewelry, or numerous credit cards. Don't let any of these items lying around your hotel room. Stay in well-lighted areas. Stick to the buddy system. Don't go anywhere alone. When at a bar or club, never leave your food or beverage unattended. I'm Misty Schreckengost, TV5 News.
Authorities in Clifton, Ohio are searching for a runaway cow. The bright bovine, now known as Heidi, escaped from a meat processing plant last Friday. Her would-be captors say her brownish camouflage color and her experience on the free range probably helped her elude the slaughterhouse. Rangers from the Hamilton County Park District have been following Heidi's tracks. She's even been caught on videotape, but so far she remains hoof-loose and fancy-free. All joking aside, officials say it's important to find Heidi before she wanders onto the highway. Her owners say they are willing to donate Heidi to a good home if and when they catch up to her.
Up next, we'll have the latest on the American helicopter that went down this afternoon.
But first, it's your turn. Your turn to let us know how you feel. Email us or call us here at TV5 and let us know what you want to hear about.
This portion of the programming was brought to you by the Clarion Bowl Arena, located on Route 322, 1 mile east of Clarion. Bowl Arena offers rock and bowl every Friday and Saturday night, and a game room with 8 pool tables and arcade games. Bowl Arena also offers bumper bowling for kids' birthdays and league play for adults. Call 764-3471. Again, that's 764-3471.
On September 11th, America faced terrorist attacks of the worst kind. Innocent lives were lost, and a sad cloud was cast over this great nation. These acts were intended to cause fear among all Americans, including our children. But we cannot let that happen. There are things we can do to help our kids. Talk with them, listen to them, tell them they're safe and that they're loved. God bless you, and God bless America.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400.
Hi everybody, I'm Brandy. How would you like to give hope to millions of the world's children? UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is saving lives in over 140 countries by providing kids with medicine, clean water, nutrition, and education. With your help, UNICEF can make a huge difference in our world. For more information, call 1-800-FOR-KIDS. Thank you.
You're watching TV5 with Zeta Tau Alpha.
You're watching Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
A U.S. military helicopter carrying 12 Army members crashed in the sea during a routine mission in the Philippines. There weren't immediate signs of survivors. The CH-47 Chinook went down this afternoon about 120 miles northeast of Mindanao. The Pentagon says there was no indication that it was brought down by hostile fire. It says the aircraft was heading to the islet of Mactan from the southern island of Basilan. A search and rescue operation is underway.
A gruesome scene in Georgia, where hundreds of bodies were found lying around a crematorium, has crematory operators everywhere saying it won't happen again. But most states have few laws governing crematoriums. As Sean McDonald reports, one operator in New Hampshire is calling on state lawmakers for tighter regulations.
Found 206 bodies stored in various places around the tri-state crematory in Georgia. It seems impossible so many bodies could go unchecked, but could it happen here in New Hampshire?
It certainly could. I think it's going to certainly have regulators take a look at the crematory regulations that are in existence.
Buddy Fineff runs a funeral home and is under tight scrutiny by the state, except this part, the crematory. Part of the reason he started this on site was so he could watch over the work. Many New Hampshire funeral homes opt for off-site subcontractors for cremation. Tri-State Crematory in Georgia was also a subcontractor. Workers reportedly picked up bodies at funeral homes and returned with ashes that didn't match up. Currently in New Hampshire, if you want to open a crematory, it has to be inspected and then licensed by the state. But that's really where the regulations end. Once you open up shop, there are no inspectors or watchdog group to keep an eye on you. According to state funeral regulators, an incident like this one in Georgia will happen here because there are other peripheral requirements which inevitably watch the business. For example, all bodies must be checked by a medical examiner before cremation. Examiners often visit crematories more than once a day. Also, the state requires careful paperwork be filed on each body, saying when and where they were cremated. Red flags could easily be spotted. But inevitably, consumers are warned to ask questions and know they have the right to check on every step of the process.
2 million Muslims wrapped up an annual pilgrimage to the city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia on Thursday. But thousands of Iranian pilgrims used the event to denounce the United States and Israel during a rally at Mount Arafat outside the city. Although Saudi law prohibits such political demonstrations, Saudi security forces did not intervene. The Iranians claimed the United States and Israel used the September 11th terrorist attacks as an excuse for coercive actions against the Palestinian people. Last month, President Bush named Iran as one of 3 countries belonging to what he dubbed the axis of evil.
The man once considered to be the infamous World War II death camp guard known as Ivan the Terrible has lost his U.S. citizenship. A federal judge has revoked the citizenship of Don Demjanjuk, agreeing with the government allegations that he guarded Nazi death camps. But Demjanjuk's family is confident the ruling will be overturned.
Them wrong before, and we have been vindicated. I'm sure everybody will remember that Mr. Demjanjuk was sentenced to death by hanging based on an erroneous decision of a 3-judge panel. They were wrong, and we were vindicated. We will appeal, and we will prove them wrong once again.
U.S. officials maintain that justice has finally been served after decades of investigation. The judge said documents such as work records and citizenship papers prove the government's case, without the need for eyewitness collaboration. Demjanjuk denied the papers were linked to him.
Up next, Kristen Knighton will be here with tonight's weather.
But first, here's a look at tonight's stock report.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TV5 News Live.
Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leader, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant from Clarion Hospital. Clarion Hospital is located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open around the clock every day of the year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1954.
You're watching Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
Well, Kristen, we've had a few nice days starting this week, but today turned out to be a pretty miserable day.
Yeah. Is the weather going to clear up within the next couple days?
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's going to be pretty nasty within the next week. Rain and snow showers will continue throughout the weekend and the beginning of next week. Luckily, the temperatures will drop until after the next weekend. Looking at the satellite map, you can see there's a light cloud coverage over the northwestern Pennsylvania. The heavy cloud coverage is held in northwest, which is traveling across the coast. Let's take a look at today's map. We can expect a cold front coming through tonight, which will bring us variable clouds and snow showers and flurries. The low pressure system will bring about the winds that will pick up this evening. Be careful if you're out and about. The roads may be slick. Let's take a look at tomorrow's map. As you can see, we will be getting light snow showers. The high will reach about 36 degrees, yet it will be cloudy. Tomorrow night will continue to be cloudy with scattered snow showers. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast to see what we can expect for the weekend. Friday, snow showers, a high of 36 and a low of 21. Saturday is partly cloudy, a high of 40 and a low of 21. Sunday, cloudy, a high of 47 and a low of 26. Monday is mixed rain and snow, a high of 40 and a low of 26. Tuesday is light snow, high of 28 and low of 12. That's all for the weather. For those of you who are going on break, I hope it's great.
I'm very envious right now of all those who are heading to Florida as we stay here in Pennsylvania with the cold weather.
Definitely.
They may not realize it, but the rescue and recovery dogs that have been working since September 11th are finally getting their due, even if applause and accolades aren't exactly something a dog can chew. Jeannie Mose reports.
Picking his way over jagged meadow and shifting concrete, dangling in midair. Good boy. In the old days, our idea of a hero dog was Rin Tin Tin.
Eddie's Rennie.
These days, Rin Tin Tin has been replaced by
Hammer, an Ace, Sky.
From the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show to the ASPCA Annual Awards Luncheon, the rescue and recovery dogs from 9/11 are being thrown more than just a bone of gratitude.
Joseph Caputo and Bravo.
I'm very proud of him, the way he was able to work out there.
Apollo here barely escaped death by fire at the World Trade Center.
The rubble just gave way, and next thing you know, I don't see him anymore, and I see the fire burning.
If Apollo hadn't been soaking wet from swimming to get to the rubble, his handler says they could never have saved him. At the ASPCA luncheon, the rescue dogs elicited squeals of delight. But the room fell silent as scenes of 9/11 were replayed. Somewhere in that rubble lies buried Officer David Lim's dog.
David is the only officer to lose his dog Cirrus in the World Trade Center tragedy.
The Port Authority policeman now has a new bomb-sniffing canine. He and his old dog were in the canine unit's basement office at the Trade Center when the first plane hit. David put Cirrus in his kennel.
I told him to hang out right here. I'll be right back to get you.
David himself almost died when the second tower collapsed as he was rescuing folks. 3 months later, Cirrus was recovered as ceremoniously as any human victim.
We saw Cirrus on the stretcher with the American flag over him. I knew that was him. I wasn't exactly as strong as I thought I would have been, but it still was bittersweet, of course, recovering my buddy. I fulfilled the promise to return and get him.
The president of the ASPCA celebrated the dogs even as he mourned his own sister.
My sister was a flight attendant on American.
Families who lost loved ones were comforted by therapy dogs like Molly, so they too were honored. But do the dogs know what the fuss is all about?
He's getting petted by everybody. He knows the scene.
Their hotel sure beats the doghouse.
The dog now wants a salad and a glass of white wine.
Not some roll rolling around the floor. They have their name in lights. They've even been blessed.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Instead of carrying cameras around their necks and taking pictures, they're getting their picture taken, but best of all, they're getting their ears rubbed. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
One of the most feared things in Hollywood, stalkers. Many celebrities have had to involve law enforcement to protect themselves from the dangers stalkers can bring. TV5's own Martise McCree gives us a Hollywood lock-in Martise's Minute.
In Malibu, California, the man accused of breaking into a house he thought was actress Meg Ryan's home faces a competency hearing today. Police say John Michael Hughes told them he was engaged or married to Ryan. She joins a long list of celebrities forced to deal with the problem of stalking. Nicole Kidman, Steven Spielberg, Russell Crowe, Meg Ryan, Madonna. All are famous and all have been stalked, which comes as no surprise to this expert.
The truth is that everyone who is a celebrity, even minor ones, has stalkers.
The nice ones are particular targets of the mentally ill. Nice, approachable stars like Michael J. Fox. Some can laugh about it. Dave Letterman once joked that his longtime stalker knew his friends better than he did.
Oddly enough, she's spoken to Johnny Carson. I can't. It's the damnedest thing. I can't seem to get him on the phone. He's got it.
But nobody was laughing when Andrew Cunanan murdered Gianni Versace, when John Lennon was shot and killed, or when Teresa Saldana was nearly stabbed to death.
I was terrified.
But most stalking cases aren't about celebrities. They're everyday domestic violence. But it was the death of this young actress, Rebecca Schaefer, that prompted California lawmakers to come up with the first anti-stalking statute in the nation. However, a single stalking count only calls for 4 years in prison, so prevention is the key. Don't give autographs. Some stalkers see them as invitations to spend eternity together. Camera, don't bother, but do beef up the bodyguards. Forget keeping your location a secret. Anybody can buy those maps to the stars' homes. So move a lot. It's inexpensive, but usually worth it.
There are prices to fame and to achievements of all kinds. It's kind of like a fame tax.
And celebrities pay it again and again, because some experts say the only time they close a stalking case is when the stalker is dead. With Martise's Minute, I'm Martise McCree.
Up next, Amanda Roseman will be here with tonight's sports.
But first, here's a look at tonight's Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Hope you're a winner.
Take Simmons.
Yeah. Give me Jones.
Anderson.
Smith.
Lightfoot.
Bishop.
Hernandez.
Swifka.
Harris.
Lavender.
Peavy.
Yes.
In the game of life, you've got a much better chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call NACME. We'll tell you.
This portion of programming is sponsored by Reese Brothers, located in Drake Square Building in Oil City. Reese Brothers offers competitive hourly wage, plus daily bonuses, flexible scheduling, company-sponsored health benefits, and paid professional training. Call today at 1-800-365-3500, extension 684, or 677-9236 for your personal interview, or stop by and visit the Drake Square Building. Reese Brothers, where integrity and technology connect.
Well, I heard the PSAC swimmers were in town.
And the Olympics are still going on, so what else is happening in sports?
Well, baseball's starting up, and also NASCAR tonight. But first, we got the Golden Eagle basketball team will start the winter break-off in the right foot if senior Steve Serwatka has his way on Saturday against New Haven. Serwatka is just 1 point away from scoring 1,000 points for the second time. Steve will be the first Golden Eagle to accomplish such an amazing goal. The world champion Arizona Diamondbacks are getting big sponsorships. The Miller Brewing Company honors the Diamondbacks with the unveiling of a special edition Top Fuel dragster. It was unveiled to the team following their spring training workouts at Tucson Electric Park on Wednesday. Tony Womack and Robin Yount got to sit in the car that competes in this weekend's National Hot Rod Association race at Firebird International Raceway in Chandler, Arizona. Larry Dixon, driver of the dragster, will compete against a rival New York Yankees dragster as well as other cars. With a checkered flag in his hand, Ward Burton is hoping all the races this season end like the Daytona 500 did on Sunday. With more on NASCAR, here is Laura Ockman with the NASCAR Minute.
Two of last year's 4 restrictor plate races were not able to avoid the big wreck, so NASCAR made modifications for this year's Daytona 500. But the Great American Race still ended up looking like the Great American Pile-Up.
I don't know what the answer is. We thought the other way was good. Nobody liked that. We thought this way was going to be better. And I don't think there's going to be many people that like this. Probably the guy in Victory Lane is the only one that's going to like it.
What it amounts to is this will never be fixed because we all are too competitive. We all want a spot. I mean, there's people battling for 30th all day long, 15th. I mean, it's just out of hand.
NASCAR's next restrictor plate race is April 21st at Talladega. More changes could come by then. With the NASCAR Minute, I'm Laura Oakman.
Michelle Kwan came into the Olympics with 2 goals, 1 to have a blast and 2 to win gold. Tonight she may get those 2 goals. After winning the short program and having the edge on Russian Irina Sletskaya, Kwan intends not to hold anything back. In other Olympic news, last night Jim Shea was a 3rd-generation gold medalist, taking home the gold in the skeleton. The women's skeleton also brought home medals to the United States, Tristan Gale bringing home the gold and Leah Parsley bringing home the silver medal. Jennifer Rodriguez was a bronze medalist in the 1500-meter speed skating, and last but not least, the ever-popular Apollo Ono brought home the gold in the men's 1500-meter speed skating finals. That brings the United States medal count to 27, 9 gold, 10 silver, and 8 bronze. Germany is still in the lead with 32. With only 4 days left, the United States is hoping to pass Germany. And that's all for this Thursday's Sports Report. Now back to you guys.
That's the news for tonight. In Clarion, due to